question I have is, I guess what you said was, when you listen, you will be guided of what you need to do or what you should do, right? What I wanted to ask you was, what about some deeper questions in life, like when, and it's not spiritual questions, but more like, what decision one should make about certain important things in life, right? How do like one get answers to those questions? Most of the time those are driven by fears or insecurities or lack of knowledge. How one can make more deeper and important decisions.
Okay, this is a long and deep a discussion that has to be had. So we'll speak in short because we don't have that time, but this is something that I can discuss over a long period of time. First, like if you're just a basic good Hindu, you learn all of these mantras. But a lot of times it's like going to church, where you learn just to show up, but your mind's not really engaged. You sort of, I do it, okay, I'm good to go. I did it, I finished my obligations, I'm out of here. Really, if we're just chanting mantra, we've done sort of the elementary practice, so in the beginning practice. But then we should actually, from a philosophical point of view, just to try to understand the mantra, its symbolic meaning, its metaphoric meaning, and then we have to look for, with every mantra we practice, let's say whatever your favorite mantra is, there's an important question you have to ask yourself. And there's a wonderful search that you must make. Where do I see that energy in life? See, because if we're just saying, Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama, Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai. So, are we doing real good for ourselves? Yes, we are. But we have to go deeper into the mantra to say, what is that energy? What is that Ram energy? What is that energy? And then you have to look for it in the world. Where do I see it in the world? Because with all mantra, you have to develop intimacy. See? It has to be part of your environment. See? So that's really important because it gets more full. And then the state in which we do the mantra. So when we say Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama, Om Shri Rama Jai Rama, a lot of times when we're saying those prayers, that mantra, we're thinking about, I got a 3 o'clock appointment, and so-and-so is coming over at noon, and gee, have I got that report done? That's all going on in the back of our mind. We have to learn how to put the affairs of the world in suspension. We don't toss it out. We just put it in suspension. So when you're saying mantra, you are sitting with God. That's how you have to think about it. It's just you and me, God. Just see whatever that deity is present, and then I'm just going to spend time with you. I'm just going to spend time just with you. Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama. Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama. Om Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama. In the beginning, there's a little anxiety, but over time, we'll relax, and we're just spending time with God through vibration. See? So there has to be a relaxation in our psyche, in our being, where we sort of just blend with that sound. That just becomes, we're like resting on water in a way, just resting in the vibration. As you do that, slowly but surely, your intuitive sense is going to grow. Especially when you're not doing with anxiety, or I have to get to do such and such. So you can put a little timer on and forget the timer. It'll get to you when it gets to you. But emotionally, completely relax in that mantra, and be aware of the nature or the aspect of that divinity as inherently present, not just a bunch of words, but that deity is physically present. And then relax into it and just completely be with it. And at the end of that period, then you can have just simple, deep, profound, restful silence. And then you can say a prayer, Hey Bhagavan, these are things that trouble my heart. These are questions I have. Hey Bhagavan, please. And then ask the question. And then sit another 5 minutes. And just know that somehow, some way, heaven will show you. You're just giving yourself in confidence. Sometimes, all of a sudden, in your head, the knowledge will come. Or you go out into the world, and then someone will say something, and that'll make you think, oh, that's what. Or you'll see something. Somehow, heaven will show you. I'll tell you a micro experience. This is several times, actually many times, I've almost kicked the bucket. So all kinds of crazy ways. All kinds of ways death has come past my door. But one time I was in the ocean, and I was, maybe chest high, just walking in the water, and my foot went into a sinkhole, and it sunk me down to my knee. I was absolutely trapped. I wiggled this way, pulled that way, pulled this way. I could not get out. And the tide is coming in, and every single time I moved, I sunk deeper. So at one point, I'm like this with the water, And at that time, you have time to think, And your mind is concentrated, I'm thinking, okay, God, this is it for me. I didn't anticipate to leave this world this way. Hey, Bhagavan, hey, Bhagavan. So I just completely relaxed because I figure there's only maybe 4 or 5 minutes left of life because, I'm here at this point and it's not that far to get to here. Mm-hmm. And the people can't see me on the beach and I'm sinking deeper and deeper. And every time I move, my leg goes deeper into the water. I just get sucked into this hole. So, I'm not flailing, I'm not screaming. Maybe I should have done those things, but I didn't. I just said a prayer because I thought, this is my last day. This is it. So, hey God. So I'm with God. Hey Rama, hey Rama, hey Rama. And I'm waiting to be pulled under now. And then just before I get to my nose, in my mind comes a show I had seen in my childhood about how to get out of quicksand. I saw some little snippet on some show 20 some odd years ago about how to get out of quicksand. And what it was, it said to lean the body to break the seal. So I just reached, I leaned forward, and my leg slipped right out. Right before I was to be pulled under. That thought came to my mind of something I had seen in my childhood, on some nature program. And I did exactly what it said, and my leg slipped right out.
Thank you. That could save my life someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've almost drowned 3 times before.
Yeah. 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 So it's, at that point it was okay, God, I'm yours. I'm yours. Come what may. And he let me loose in that moment. See? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't me relying on my fear, this and that. No, I just said God's name. This is my time. And in that moment I was released. See? So these kinds of things happen. These kinds of things happen.
I appreciated what you say about don't leave this world, don't die before us an ordinary human.
Exactly.
Just a few days ago, I was watching this nature film of how a lion would hunt down and kill an animal, and I saw how every life when they died, I just saw like what a demon is. It's like when you die in horror and you haven't developed anything in you.
Right.
That would be like being taken by the demon.
Yeah.
And and if you can live like what let there be what may come, you know,
Come
and
what may, yeah.
come what may, and you're prepared.
Yeah, stand
And
with God.
It's a different experience of leaving the world,
Yeah.
and then dying like a food for a wild animal or
Yeah.
a demon.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
appreciated that.
yeah. That comes with a habit of constantly remembering God, constantly saying God's name. So my death, if it had occurred on that day, would have ram 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 blup blup blup.
Yeah.
You know, but it was ram 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 freedom. Thank you. I've got another day.
What do you think of this saying that they say, pray as if everything depends on God, and work as if everything depends on you?
Well, that's true. You know, you have. Our life is to learn to work in communion with God. That doesn't mean lean back on the couch. It means lean forward and get busy, but do it in concert with the kingdom. See? So we're supposed to be industrious, but we're supposed to be wise and industrious. See? Not selfish. If we're selfish, if we're industrious and selfish, we're just common human beings. If we're becoming intuitively aware of the kingdom and industrious, we're becoming agents of the kingdom. See, and that's part of our evolution, is to become agents of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. See, so we're all going to die. We don't know all the circumstances, so we all know the fact that we're going to go. Why don't we go with God? Why don't we go with remembrance? Why don't we go with sanctity? We're going to go. Is it going to be in terror? Or is it going to be a sanctified, conscious death? See? So these are the things that you prepare yourself for. You know, you die as you live. See?
There's also something very precious you said about the path is not easy. There's like the path of the saint has a lot of struggle and
definitely
difficulty, and there's something. It's because it's in my mind. It's going away, but I felt something that there's a part of us that we struggle with.
Yes.
Our animal, our nature,
Sure.
our habits.
Mm-hmm.
We always struggle with that. Like, for instance, our violent side or selfishness.
Sure.
We constantly struggle with that, that animal, that selfish animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also always this curiosity about why am I here? And you know,
Exactly. That's the sacred angst, making
the
you look,
angst.
making you look deeper. Yeah. Well, the impulses of violence and primitiveness, accept it. Accept it. Now the trick is the method of displacement. All of those things are there. Those primal instincts allowed us to outrun dinosaurs and catch up to other things to eat. Those energies are there. Simply accept it. But those are primal impulses. But those primal impulses can be sanctified. See? They can be purified. Their higher nature can arise. They can go through the process of transmutation. They can change from one condition to another condition. And by persistent prayer, persistent mantra, persistent meditation, all of those instincts are allowed to be, but purified. See? So those primal energetics can be used for more enlightened activity. See? And what was necessary in one condition is no longer necessary in another condition. See? So your nature will change, and how the energies are applied can change. See? Your experience will change. Our primal experience can change to a more enlightened experience. Hence, how we express and experience the world will be different. See? So even in that simple story I told, I wasn't dying in terror. I wasn't happy about it. But I fell upon mantra. You know, the persistent. It wasn't like, oh, poor me. It's, my mind completely fell upon God and said, okay, I accept whatever, God. I'm yours. I belong to you. You know, hidam, hanam. And a minute, the understanding of how to get out came. It was a surrender. I'm with you. I'm going to die with you. And then, okay, release. True story. So, these are the kinds of things that we have to develop a quiet, hidden culture of sanctity. There's no big banners. You know, a quiet, hidden culture of sanctity, and then so that's internal association, and then there's external association. So you associate with some teachers so that everything is balanced, both inside and outside. You know, so that you learn the culture of sanctity. So that's why every yogi at some time has to sit with a saint and have to spend a lot of time with them and have to live with them and just have to be part, because it's not just sitting there learning the mantras and learning the scriptures. It's just the life, just the experience of being there, of being present. See? That an infinite amount of different knowledge you're acquired. How do you handle this situation, that situation, infinite situations? You know, how do you maintain this sanctified disposition? Even though we have to run around and do all the crazy things that we have to do in life. But despite that, how do we maintain a sanctified, you know, experience in our heart? And how do we maintain being on course all the time, regardless of how bad or good life is treating us? See?